Hello everybody, I'm Jeremy Dickinson. Thank you all for watching and welcome to my YouTube channel, Philosophy Clips. In this philosophy clip, I'd like to spend some time talking about the ethics of human enhancement, the ethics of human genetic enhancement. And what I want to do in order to facilitate that discussion in this video series on the topic is talk about Julian Savulescu's paper, Genetic Interventions and the Ethics of the Enhancement of Human Beings. Once again, the title for those of you who want to try to find it, Genetic Interventions and the Ethics of the Enhancement of Human Beings. The philosopher is Julian Savulescu, who is at Oxford University. He runs a bioethics center there called the UHERO Center. You can track down the paper in Rochefort-Landau's 2015 book, The Ethical Life. Okay, it features in that book. Now, what I want to do here is just really set the stage. So this will be part one of my video series on the Savulescu. What I'll do is I'll set the stage and then I'll introduce Savulescu's stance on the debate. That'll be part one of the video series. And then in part two, I'll turn my attention to looking carefully at several arguments that Savulescu gives for his position. We'll look at three different arguments. So let's do some stage setting. Now, the topic, again, is the ethics of human genetic enhancement. So think about it like this, at least initially. This will be all big picture. We have biomedical technology available to us. We will have even greater access to better, more improved forms of biomedical technology in the future. And we'll have decisions to make about our use of those technologies, just as we do nowadays. But in the future, we'll have even more, because the technology, we can assume, is going to continue to boom and continue to get bigger. Now, generally, we tend to think, don't we, that our condition, our lives being enhanced, our lives being improved, being made better for us, historically has gone hand in hand with developments in technology, technological improvement. I mean, you just have to look back to like the rise of computers and the rise of the internet and the like, and how those things have improved our lives. Think about vaccines. Think about automobiles, technology associated with developing, automobiles and airplanes, and how that's improved our lives in many ways. Go back, if you want, as far as you want, the printing press even. So there's all kinds of examples that we can multiply ad nauseum that show that our lives, the human lives generally, tend to be enhanced when technology improves. And it's no different, it seems, when it comes to thinking about biomedical technology, the kind of technology that we have that can influence positively the expression of our genes, either by way of indirectly affecting the expressions of genes or by methods like genetic engineering. So we have questions to ask as the technology continues to improve about the permissible or obligatory uses of such technology. Now, for the most part, we tend to think, gosh, enhancement means to improve. We use technology in a range of other areas to improve our lives. Why couldn't we here? We think we can with respect to vaccines. Vaccines are biomedical technology. They improve our lives. What's the big deal? Why couldn't we here? Well, what I hope to do is, at least in my way of setting things up so you understand what's going on in the debate, or at least some of the terms of the debate, you'll see that a debate does emerge. And it has to do, at least in part, with something that's semantic, something involving the meaning of the term, enhancement. What is meant by that? And it turns out that the way that the term is used in the bioethics literature in this area, it means something more narrow, more constrained than just the general meaning of like improvement. So I think that by saying a few things about how we're to understand what enhancement is, that'll help us glean or get a sense of what might be at issue in the human enhancement debate, at least part of the debate, because of course this is a wide-ranging and very general issue with many moving parts and aspects to it. So what I like to do is think about a working definition. I don't think we need to have, at least in a video like this, we don't have to have like a well worked out precise definition. We just need to have a working definition, help us understand what's typically meant by a biomedical enhancement in the first place, because that's really going to help us understand some things. So let's get clear on at least a working definition, one that several philosophers writing in the area take for granted and use. And if they don't use this one, they use one that's like it. So here's a working definition I like to use. It's by Eric Jungst in a 1998 paper. He gave a definition that went something like this. An enhancement, a biomedical enhancement, is a medical or biological intervention to the body designed to improve performance, appearance, or capability besides what is necessary to achieve, sustain, or restore health. Now, let me say it again, just so you've got it. Sometimes the first time through it goes kind of quickly. So an enhancement here, biomedical enhancement, is a medical or biological intervention to the body designed to improve performance, appearance, or capability besides or beyond what is necessary to achieve, sustain, or restore health. So you see in this definition something that's really interesting. We can think about an enhancement as a kind of treatment, if you will. So it's when we offer a treatment to a patient, a biomedical treatment to a patient, in such a way that that treatment is benefiting the person or attempting to benefit the person in a way that goes beyond merely trying to achieve, sustain, or restore health. So that tells us that there's a kind of like bifurcation here of categories or of different kinds of concepts, if I can put it that way. There's maybe the therapeutic sense of a treatment, or at least a non-enhancement sense of a treatment, and then there's an enhancement sense of a treatment. And an enhancement sense of a treatment is one that goes beyond a therapeutic sense. So if you can understand what a therapeutic treatment is, that puts you in a really good position for understanding what an enhancement treatment is. And so a therapeutic treatment we can understand as, or perhaps generally a non-enhancement treatment, is one that's designed to help the patient achieve, sustain, or restore their health. Okay, and anything beyond that's going to count as enhancement. Okay, so that's, again, a working definition, but it gives us a sense, right? It tells us that there's non-enhancement, perhaps more the paradigmatic kind of non-enhancement in the biomedical realm is going to be, therapeutic treatment, and then there's, on the other hand, what goes beyond therapy, and that's going to be enhancement. And now you can see, right, like the basis of a debate forming, right? Because everyone, as it were, seems like they can agree, can't they, that it's okay to improve our condition, right? Our genetic condition, if it's for the sake of like improving us therapeutically, right? So we can achieve, sustain, and restore health. But then there are further questions about whether or not we can take these treatments based on the biomedical technology that we have and that's emerging and that's coming to improve beyond the therapeutic uses, right, people's lives. So it's a paradigmatic, paradigmatic case. We might think, the case of therapy, give a patient anabolic steroids who's suffering from muscular dystrophy. That would seem to count as using biomedical technology for the sake of treating someone in a therapeutic way. But now imagine we have a medical professional who's treating a patient who is not suffering from any diseases, isn't suffering from muscular dystrophy, but in fact is a professional athlete. And we're giving them, and the doctor's giving the patient, in this case, anabolic steroids. Maybe the same amount is given to the muscular dystrophy patient, but we're giving it to somebody who doesn't need their health to be sustained or restored, etc. And so in that case, you'd say, gosh, that seems to be a paradigmatic case where you have enhancement because the relevant treatment is going above and beyond therapy. And now we can ask, right, pretty readily whether or not it's permissible to give, professional baseball players, think about the steroid era of baseball, is it permissible to give them anabolic steroids as they compete with their peers on the baseball diamond, for example. Okay, so hopefully you're starting to see the difference between enhancement on the one hand, non-enhancement and therapy on the other, and that the debate here, the human enhancement debate, at least in part involves thinking about whether or not it's permissible to also use biomedical technologies for the sake of enhancement, and not just therapy, where enhancement again goes above and beyond, right, treatments that are designed for the sake purely for therapy, etc. Now, of course, keep in mind there can be a vague boundary between the therapeutic on the one hand as a paradigmatic kind of non-enhancement and the enhancement on the other. Okay, so there might be some cases where it's difficult to know exactly whether or not the treatment's going to count as therapy or enhancement. We live with that. That's true for other treatments that we have that we widely accept. So you might think that other clear cases of enhancement might involve, implanting a computer chip in someone's brain, allowing them access to all kinds of databases to give them advantages. You might think also giving soldiers certain pills to take, certain drugs to take that trigger metabolic processes in them that allow them to run for days like Arctic sled dogs. These examples come from philosophers Lynn, Melman, and Abney. Lynn and Abney, they're colleagues of mine, so it's a shout out to them. These are supposed to be clear cases where we'd have enhancement. Clear cases of non-enhancement, so giving the anabolic steroids to the muscular dystrophy patient seems to be a clear one. Another kind of case of non-enhancement, that's not necessarily therapy, it doesn't seem like it's therapy, it's maybe a case where we send a child to an expensive prep school. Okay, doesn't seem like that's enhancement. Perhaps that's just non-enhancement. Doesn't seem like that's therapy either. But anyways, it's definitely, or it doesn't seem like it's clearly a case of enhancement, so it's likely to be a case of non-enhancement. Okay, so all that was by way of just doing the foundational work. As I've already noted, Savulescu is going to be the focus of the remainder of my discussion on this issue, on this debate, and he takes a clear stance. His stance is that it is permissible to use enhancement goods, biomedical technology enhancement goods, for the sake of benefiting us genetically. Why? The big picture reason why is because it improves our well-being levels. And our well-being is morally relevant. And so Savulescu wants to be on that side that would say that these technologies, so long as they're used fairly and safely, and they're used in such a way that people are choosing them, not being coerced to use them, perfectly fine. So Savulescu is going to say yes on the issue of the use of treating people using the enhancement goods that come from biomedical technologies. He doesn't think that we're currently in a position to where we should be using them widely, right, for the sake of enhancing ourselves, because we still have a lot of science to do, and we have to make sure that we also can fairly distribute them to the members of populations, and we have to be able to make sure that we're doing so in a safe and free kind of way. So that's big picture. Savulescu, we're going to see, gives us a series of arguments to think about in favor of the pro-enhancement position. And so I'll stop the video here because I've done all the relevant foundation laying. And in my next video, part 2 of my video series on human enhancement, I'll talk about 3 arguments that Savulescu runs for his position. So I thank you for watching, everybody. If you have any questions about any of the definitions or anything that I said already in this video, please post them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Appreciate you watching. Bye-bye.